The war in Iran, changes to policies, including capital gains taxes and negative gearing, major economic collapses. We're going to talk all about it in today's video. I wanted to have a frank discussion about the economy here in Australia, Australia's housing market, and how I see things, because I get asked every day of the week as a buyer's agent, as a chartered accountant, and a professional property investor, what I think of the markets and what I'm doing to buffer myself or give myself peace of mind around Australia's market at this point in time. The reality is, if we wind back the clock, there's been these major events since the dawn of time. We've had COVID, I'm sure everyone remembers that. We had the GFC, or the global financial crisis. We've had the towers being hit in 2000, terrorist attacks, the changes to policies. We've had all these things happen in Australia's market, APRA crackdowns, the list goes on. There's always going to be movements and changes in the markets, and it's about adapting and overcoming these issues. And we know that if the government makes a change, the market will react. And so the likelihood of there being major changes, positive or negative, these things are going to occur, but it's about how you structure yourself and how you buffer yourself in these scenarios to have peace of mind. So I just wanted to take the time to pull this apart and show you how I'm protecting myself in these circumstances. The first thing, big thing for me, is your reason why. So why are you building a portfolio? How are you creating space in your life, and what is it for? For me, it's not about being a guy that's got a flashy watch or a nice car. And I get some flack for saying that I'm a very basic guy and I just want a car that's 60 grand and functions really well. And I've got a watch that I bought on Facebook Marketplace. This is a Garmin. I bought this for $100 on Marketplace one time. And, some people want nice things, but for me, investing is about creating choices. Choices with what I do for work, who I work with, and the fact that I don't have to take on rude people or rude clients or people that are not aligned with our business. And the fact that I can choose the hours that I work. And ideally, my late wife, Emily, was going to be a stay-at-home mum. That's something that we both dreamed of and worked towards together. So that's why I'm personally invested in property and assets in general. And so with these changes in policies and potential changes, I don't worry about what's going to happen, because I know built into the systems is the government taking on more deficits and printing more money. I just need to ride out these waves, and we know that the government is incentivized to create inflation to keep the everyday Aussie working. What does the government want you to do at the end of the day? They want you to create economic value in GDP for Australia as a whole. Now, the way for them to do that is to devalue your cash and to keep you working. And so if the government wants to keep you working, to keep you, in the market, as it were, they're incentivized to devalue money over time, and therefore you have to keep working. And so for me, the way I fight against inflation, the way I fight against that is by investing in assets and saving more as much as I could. So in my 20s, I saved north of 50% of our incomes with Emily. And the way we did that was live ultra frugally. We were renting $320, would you believe, to $450 per week up until 2023. So a long period of time living in very cheap accommodation. And that was our biggest expense on our profit and loss of our household budget. Housing was our biggest expense. And people say, you can't do that. Renting a house now is very expensive. But I see, properties renting for $400 and $500 a week here in Southeast Queensland. You can't tell me they're not out there. It's just whether you're willing to make the sacrifice to live in those homes. And the reality is the market has shot up significantly. Assets have grown significantly. It's not as easy as it was when I started in 2018, but there's certainly still a path to create options and choices if you're willing to make the sacrifices. It's just going to be a lot of hard work, and it always has been and always will be, in my opinion. But how do I buffer myself from these storms in terms of the economic markets? It's managing cash flow and growth. My personal philosophy with investing is to focus on growth first. So buy blue chip, quality assets in scarce locations that have huge demand and minimal supply. Those properties are going to give me growth, to create economic value in terms of the balance sheet of that property. Thinking about it like a business, the balance sheet's growing, but I might have poor cash flow to begin with. Then once I'm tapped out on servicing, I'm going to look to transition to cash flow assets. So I either sell down one of the assets I've bought, or I hold the assets I've got and buy more cash flow driven properties, whether that's house and granny flats, whether that's unit blocks, whether that's commercial property. I pivot to cash flow properties to balance out my portfolio over time. And this is exactly what I did. So over the last 7-8 years, professionally investing, I started by buying properties, which were growth focused first. Then I bought a unit block with Emily as our fourth deal. Then we switched back to more growth properties in Moreton Bay and Shayla Park here in Southeast Queensland. And now I'm back to cash flow and development deals, doing strata titled assets here in Southeast Queensland and buying in the Melbourne market at the start of its cycle. Because in terms of the property clock, I see Melbourne at the start of its growth wave over the next decade. And so for me, it's about that counter-cyclical investing. You've heard the Warren Buffett saying a million times, be fearful when others are greedy. And so I'm always looking for opportunities where people are scared. I'm always looking to have a position where I'm buffered. Now, a big strategy to do this is to work with your mortgage broker. I work with the guys at Cube Home Loans. If you go into the description down below, you can book in a call with them. The great thing about the guys, Nevada and their team, is about the strategy behind my portfolio. The one thing that gives me sleep at night factor is cash flow buffers. So if they change capital gains tax, then I don't have to sell. And I know that rents will increase. I think anyone who has a sense of how property works understands that some people will sell, values may decrease, but if I don't sell, I'm less likely to turn over my assets if they reduce the capital gains tax policy. And we know that rents are likely to increase as there'll be less supply of rental properties moving forward. And that'll create a new floor under property prices, especially if they bring in grandfathering, because people want to rush to buy properties to get the grandfathering if they bring it in with a bit of notice. So that's my opinion on the capital gains tax. When it comes to negative gearing, I care honestly a lot less about negative gearing than a lot of other investors do. And the reason is because I tend to balance the portfolio out. So I do growth and cash flow, growth and cash flow. So my portfolio tends to be fairly neutral, or slightly negative over a long period of time. There are some seasons where it's bigger negative periods and then smaller, but generally it balances out over time for me, so I'm less affected by negative gearing. As far as global issues like the war in Iran, that for me is a Australia-wide issue. So this is where it gets really interesting. If all of Australia goes down, then we all fall economically. So in a global or Australia-wide issue, I'm less worried because me and my next door neighbor and my other neighbor will all drop in relative wealth. And so it'll be a relative decline to everyone else, which means I'm okay in that scenario as long as I can hold with a cash buffer. And so for me, this is the secret with the mortgage brokers, is that I refinance every 3, 6, and 12 months, depending on the time frame, pull out as much equity as possible and give myself liquidity. Giving myself liquidity gives me buffer, protects me from downside risk, and allows me to minimize my cash flow outgoings. And so I go on interest only on my investments, have a big cash buffer as much as I can for as long as I can, and then be strategic in sourcing the right opportunities at the right times. And so that's how I think about it. Australia-wide falls are going to impact everyone. Personal issues on sites and developments and cash flow I can manage with liquidity, and that's how I get sleep at night factor. I also don't try and overstretch myself. A lot of these guys who build massive portfolios take on huge risk, and if we did have a big collapse, and there have been cases of guys losing their 10, 20, $40 million portfolios, because we've been in a bull run the last 5, 7, 10 years, people have not seen those big declines like we saw in 2008. We did have small declines in the COVID era, and in 2023, we had a 5-10% pullback, but we've not seen a 20% pullback. So I'm always doing my worst case scenario analysis. I'm always planning for those scenarios, but generally I'm looking at 5 to 7% growth year on year over a long period of time. Statistically, 1 out of 5 years will be a down year. And statistically, that down year will be somewhere between 5 to 15% when it comes to property here in Australia. But the upsides tend to be 5 to 8% up year on year for the other 4 years. And if you do the math, property is going to significantly outgrow over a long period of time. The great thing about property is the leverage piece. So you get more market exposure on the upside and more market exposure when there is some downside. But if you've got buffers in place and upside potential on the deals, so you buy corner blocks or strata or granny flats or value add projects, you buffer yourselves in those scenarios as well. So that's my thoughts about the global war, about economic policies, about buffering and liquidity, and hopefully gives you context into the current market. I thought it would be really important to share my thoughts about all these things because there is a lot of noise out there, and I think it's important to gain clarity around how you protect yourself through refinancing with the brokers and banks, building up cash buffers, and making strategic decisions in terms of your personal property portfolio between growth and cash flow. And this is how I overcome these risks and sleep like a baby. It's about managing the risk over time. Now, it helps that I'm a chartered accountant and I run a buyer's agency, so I'm doing this every day of the week. And if you do want to discuss these things, to discuss your portfolio, and you potentially want to buy in Southeast Queensland or in Melbourne in the next 3 to 6 months, head over to purposeproperty.com.au. We're helping buyers in that Geelong region buy as low as 550 to 600K, and in up into the multi-million dollar purchases for housing sites and multiple dwelling sites as well across Brisbane and Melbourne. So if you're interested in those things, head over to purposeproperty.com.au and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.